So glad you're here. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started in a moment. So you can change the views in the top right corner for anyone who's a little newer to Zoom. And you can make it speaker view if you just want to be seeing myself as I'm speaking. And you're going to get a recording of this afterwards of just seeing me speaking as well. And so feel free to practice anything that feels right to you today. And then if anything doesn't feel right or you want to come back to something, just know that you will be able to return back to this practice to support you on your journey. So I have the chat pulled up. If you need anything during this workshop, just put a message in to me individually or to the group, and I will tend to that in any way that I can when it gets to a good spot. So again, welcome. Finding your cozy. You don't have to start laying down. I'm gonna orient you to what the practice is gonna be like and all those pieces, and then we'll go into that actual NSDR practice. But having a cozy place to lay down or to sit down whenever the time comes. Again, finding ways to dim the lighting. You can dim the brightness of the computer screen or your phone. Making sure you can turn off any extra bells and whistles and things that might make noises during the practice. If you have scented lotion, if you have essential oils, if you have a weighted blanket, just take this last 30 seconds or minute to grab any final things. As you do that, I'm just going to orient you to what the next 30 minutes are going to be like together. And again, for anyone that's new to practices with me, all of tonight's going to be by invitation. So I really invite you, listen to your body first. What I invite in gets to come second. So I hope you find some pieces you can take with you that you find to be supportive in your journey. So what we'll do in a moment is we'll start with an orienting practice, and that's just going to help us come into time and place and settle into our nervous systems and just kind of assess where we're at right now. After we do that, we'll orient to our 5 senses. I'll speak just for a brief moment around the benefits of NSDR. What is this practice? What you could expect, how it might support you in your journey. So I'll go into a little bit of that. I'm such a therapy geek. I could talk about the brain science for hours. I will spare you all the details, but I'll give you enough to give a little bit of that relevance to these practices. And then if you have any questions and stuff, please feel free to reach out to me afterwards. I could go on for days about all these things. So we'll orient, we'll do a little bit of breathing. We will, let's see. Someone said it's very echoey. Can anyone else let me know if it sounds echoey on their end as well? I know sometimes depending on the internet connection. Join echoey as well for you? Okay, interesting. And someone else says doesn't for me. Okay. Right. Thank you for letting me know. No issue here. Okay, so it sounds like a mixture. Sometimes it's the internet connection. Thanks, y'all. You know I love feedback, so thank you for telling me how it's sounding. So if it is echoing, sometimes I leave the room and come back in the room or play with the volume or putting in my headphones, and sometimes that can help with any sound issues too. Okay, so we will do a little bit of breathing. We'll shake out the body just to release any final bits of stress or tension from the day. And then we'll lay or lean back and do the NSDR practice. I'll slowly bring you out and I'll talk about some next steps and kind of how to integrate this into your world. So for anyone that isn't familiar with me, so I'm Becca Odom. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm a registered yoga teacher. I have been teaching yoga nidra, NSDR, restorative yoga for over a decade. I love teaching these. I've been thinking about this all day and how much I miss actually holding the space for people because we live in really busy worlds. And if we don't have space held for us to just unwind and get to be and move into this rest and digest mode of the nervous system, that we really don't do it very often, right? We're not making money off of resting. Like the world doesn't value that in a productive kind of way, typically. And so I think really coming to a space is a good way to start to build that new habit. So let's get oriented first, and then we'll go into these other pieces. So I invite you to practice this with me. So to see if you can kind of adjust or change something about how you're sitting, maybe you adjust the pillow behind you. I always kind of roll back away from my desk a little bit more. You can have the shoulder blades rolling down the back. I invite you to look out in front of you. We're going to do what's called a vagus twist. So I just posted a video about this on my YouTube channel. I think it was last week. So you can come back to this if you enjoy it. But we're just going to be orienting. So looking out in front of you, I invite you to take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, twisting in one direction, doesn't matter which one you start with, and you're twisting from your torso and then your head and then your eyes. So you're trying to look behind you and then start to turn back towards the center and just make note of like the parameters of the room. Where's the door? Where are the windows? What textures do you see? And then do the same thing in the other direction. So just a gentle twist, trying to look behind you, being respectful of your neck. And then noticing as you turn back towards the center, colors, shapes, textures, just coming back to time and place. And then I invite you to lower or close the eyes for a moment and just start to sense into what you're feeling in your body. Notice where your body's sitting. See if you could feel a sense of softening into that support. You can begin to deepen your breath. Noticing any clothing or jewelry or other pieces that are in contact with your body. As you take a few deeper breaths, noticing any smells that are in the space that you've brought in or that just exist in this moment. As you swallow next, just noticing if there's any flavors that you might be noticing from things you've had to eat or drink so far. And then I invite you, keeping the eyes lowered or closed, I invite you to bring your hand up towards your heart, so around your chest. And eyes can be lowered or closed, hands on somewhere around the heart, the chest, and just take 3 to 5 deep breaths. Belly towards your collarbones as you're breathing in. Notice the movement of your body beneath your hand. And as you exhale, let the chest lower a little, let the belly move towards your spine. And a few more times, deep breath in and slow breath out. Last round, deep breath in, belly towards collarbones, maybe even a pause at the top of the breath. And then a slow, smooth exhale out, gently releasing the practice at the end of the breath. And slowly coming back to the space. You might stretch your arms up, you might roll the shoulders or the wrists and ankles, just kind of letting movement bring you back a little more fully. And then just noticing how you feel. We all came from the days that we came from, so just kind of noticing just a little moment to pause, how you might be feeling. So in this practice, so NSDR is a newer term that was coined by Andrew Huberman. He's a neuroscientist at Stanford, and he's somebody that I follow his research and information that he's bringing out. And the term NSDR, so non-sleep deep rest. For those of you that used to come to my yoga classes in the community, I would teach yoga nidra. Yoga nidra means yogic sleep. So these two different practices have different lineages. So yoga nidra has a much longer history, but really similar properties to the practice and similar benefits. And what research is showing is that these practices have really similar effects on managing stress, on supporting us with sleeping, on building connections with our body. So this practice, we're going to be doing a body scan, and it's helping to build what's called interoception. So what's happening on the inner sensory landscape of my body, and in this place between dreaming and awake. And so it's this really unique place where we're not asleep and we're not fully active in like a doing mode. And so we really get to shift the nervous system, and we go into what's called our parasympathetic nervous system. But we think about that, it's our rest, digest, and repair mode. So that mode, that brainwave space, that mode of the nervous system is really where our body gets to heal. And if we are not sleeping well, if we're not getting deep sleep, doing practices like NSDR, yoga nidra, can be a helpful way to kind of reset the nervous system to get some of that brain state and nervous system state that really can create healing for our mind and our body, especially if we're not getting that in sleep alone. So those are a couple of the pieces of how this might be beneficial. I like to practice these, and a lot of folks practice this before going to bed. It's why I did it this time of the day rather than at lunch and then invite you to go back to work with yoga brain. And so doing it at the end of the day is a great place for this practice as a way to start to unwind from the day. Sometimes it can be used as a little reset button if I have like 5 or 10 minutes in between clients and I'm feeling really drained or really stressed. Then it's just a way to hit that reset button, drop into the body. I don't have to decide or care for anything for those 5 or 10 minutes. And then I get to go about my day and come out. So I'm going to send some more follow-up resources and pieces. You'll get the recording after this as well. So I want to really dive into the practice and give you time to come out of it slowly. So I'll leave the science pieces there for now. If anyone has any questions that feel important to answer before going into the practice, for me, when I do things, my questions come like 30 minutes afterwards. I'm an internal processor. So again, know that the door is open. You can reach out to me anytime if you have questions about this practice or other pieces like this. So in a moment, what we're going to do is we'll come back into that breathing. We're going to start to just exaggerate the breath a little bit. We're going to move the body for a moment just to release any final bits of tension or stress that can shift. And then I'm going to have you go into that kind of nest place that you've created that's cozy. Okay. So I invite you to do this last piece with me. So bringing your hand on the chest, your other hand can go on the low belly. It can go in your lap. So just kind of choose where you want your second hand to be. You could lower or close the eyes. The breath is one of the most helpful ways to start to shift our nervous system. So just start to tune back into your breath. Relax your jaw, check in with your shoulders, settle the hips. And as you're starting to take a few more deep breaths, see if you could inhale for around the count of 4, and see if you could exhale for the count of 4 or maybe 5, possibly 6. So just for a couple rounds, counting in your mind the length of your inhale, letting your exhale be about a similar length or a little bit longer. Extending the exhale can have a more calming effect on our nervous system, so letting those get a little longer at a comfortable pace. 1 or 2 more rounds like that, just slow extension of the exhale. You're noticing your senses. You're imagining the to-do list is left outside the door in the other room just for this moment. 1 more deep breath in. And exhale it out. Release the practice. Slowly coming back to the space. Again, you might stretch the body or do some kind of movement to come back. And then I'm going to invite you to stand just for a moment, and we're just going to bounce and shake for a second. This is my favorite part about being on Zoom, is that people can move and even like sigh or make sounds that they need to in a way that they might not if they were in a room full of people. And so this gets to be really your practice. So I invite you to stand if it works for where you're at. And standing with your feet about hips width apart. If you have, bare feet or socks, you can lift your toes, kind of spread them and plant them back down so you feel all 4 corners of your feet. All right, good. We're going to shift our weight into one leg. You can use a chair, table to balance yourself and just kind of shake out, wiggle one of your legs. So standing on one leg, kicking out the foot, wiggle the thigh, just kind of releasing some tension. A lot of us sat a lot today, so just getting our circulation moving, switch out the legs. And you don't have to make this a balancing pose if you want to just have a hand on something that's still. And standing on both feet, start to bounce in your knees, shake out the hands. Like imagine if you had wet hands but no towel, right? Shaking out the hands, you can shake them out, you can shake them up. As you bounce in your knees, you could let that bounce be symmetrical, or you might be pedaling the legs. You might keep your heels on the floor, or you might tap the heels as you're bouncing. Good. I know it can feel weird, just keep going, a couple more breaths. This is a really good way to release tension before we ask the body to lay still and be really meditative. Good, 1 more breath in. And exhale, release that. The movements get a little smaller and slower. Good, 1 full body stretch, reach the arms out and up. And then as you exhale, find the place where you want to be for this practice. So if you made that cozy nest laying down, you can bring yourself there. Or if you made somewhere to lean or somewhere to sit, I'm going to stay sitting upright because if I lay down, my brain's going to get a totally different message than what I'm doing here. And so I'll stay sitting, but feel free to lay down, get as cozy as you want. You don't have to have the camera on. So we won't be doing any movement practices from here. We'll be doing just the meditative practice from here. I'll give you just a moment. And as you get settled and comfortable, again, see if you want to dim more lights. Make sure you have all the layers that you need. Good. And what we'll be doing in this practice, so keep adjusting, wiggling, getting settled. I'm just going to explain this next part. What we'll do in a moment is we'll drop into the body. We'll create an intention. We'll scan our awareness throughout different parts of the body, becoming aware of each part along the way, releasing tension when we're able to release tension. Good. We'll notice our breathing. We'll come back to our intention, and then I'll slowly bring you out. So you'll be drifting in between this dreaming and waking state, doing your best to stay awake and with the practice. So starting to lower, close the eyes if they aren't already. And if you'd rather not close your eyes right now, just having your eyes softly looking at one point. And as you take a few deeper breaths, feel that your body could soften to gravity, that you could soften into the support beneath you. Feeling your teeth parting and your jaw relaxing, the muscles of the back and hips releasing some effort, letting the whole body settle. In your mind's eye, picture the four walls of the room that you're in. Imagining the ceiling, the floor, and see the space where you're resting. And then I invite you to slowly begin to create an intention. So choose something that you feel dedicated to manifesting or achieving in the coming days or weeks. This could be a quality you want to embody, like courage or patience. Might be an action step you're trying to take. Whatever your intention is, just seeing it in your mind's eye in the present tense, already true or on its way to be true. And then slowly bringing your awareness to your mouth, feeling the lower row of teeth and your upper row of teeth, the cheeks of your face and your jaw softens. Feel the tip of your nose and your whole nose, your right eye, eyelid, eyebrow, left eye, eyelid, eyebrow. Feeling the space between your eyebrows soften. Your forehead, your temples relaxing. Feeling the top of your head and the back of your head, the right ear, the left ear. Carrying your awareness down to your right hand. Starting with your right hand thumb, feeling your index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Feel the palm of your right hand and the back of your hand, right wrist, lower arm, elbow, and upper arm. Allowing the right shoulder to soften, moving that down into the right side ribs, waist, and hip. Allow your right thigh to be heavy and relaxed. Feeling the front and back of your knee, your lower leg, all the way down to your ankle. Feeling the sole of your right foot and the top of your foot, right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth. Carry that awareness to your left hand. Feeling your left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Feeling the palm of your left hand and the back of your hand. Feeling your left wrist and lower arm, left elbow and upper arm. Allowing the left shoulder to soften and moving that down to the left side ribs, waist, and hip. Allowing the left thigh to be heavy and relaxed. The left knee, feeling the lower leg, all the way down to the ankle. Feeling the sole of your left foot and the top of your foot. Left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth. Carrying that awareness to the back of your head. Feeling your neck and shoulders, the right shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade, feeling the mid back and low back, allowing the whole spine to soften, all the way down to the glutes, to the hips, to the pelvis. And then carry that awareness up to the forehead, feeling the center point of your head. Noticing any sensations you might feel in the very center point of the head. Feeling the roof of the mouth, your jaw and throat, the collarbones. Feel the right side of your chest, left side of the chest, space around the heart softening. Imagining the internal organs taking up as much space as they need right now, allowing the belly to get soft. Feeling your whole right leg and your whole left leg. Feeling both legs together. Feeling your whole right arm and your whole left arm. Feeling both arms together. Feeling the whole front side of your body as it is in this moment. And feeling the whole back side of your body continuing to soften into the support beneath you. And then begin to turn your awareness to the breath without changing anything about the breath. Just starting to watch the breath from the bottom of the inhale to the top, from the top of the breath to the end of your exhalation. Feeling that you're aligned with this rhythm, that you're part of the moment to moment flow of the breath. And finally, begin to become aware of your awareness itself. See if you can feel a sense of non-judgment, a sense of presence, of spaciousness, of simple awareness. In this state, you can remind yourself, there's nothing I need to do right now. There's nothing I must know or accomplish here. I am whole and complete, just as I am in this moment. I am whole and complete, just as I am in this moment. And keeping the body where it is in this moment. On your next inhale, I invite you to slightly open the eyes and just allowing in a little bit of light and color from the world around you. And on an exhale, I invite you to close or soften your eyes and just notice the world within you. And doing that a few times, inhaling, opening the eyes to the world around you. Exhaling and noticing the world within. And next time that your eyes are closed or lowered again, I invite you to bring back into your mind the intention that you started our practice with. And seeing it, speaking of it as if it's already true or on its way to be true. Next, you can start to deepen your breath. When you're ready, you can start to bring movement back into your body. You could wiggle the fingers and the toes. You can reach your arms up overhead and stretching like it's first thing in the morning, and a whole full body stretch. If you're laying down, I invite you to roll on to one side and curl up there for a moment or two. Really easing back into the space, layer by layer, taking your time. And when you get back to your comfortable seat, you could let your eyes lower or you could let your eyes close for this final moment. And with a sense of curiosity, just notice how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally in this moment. Just noticing with that sense of curiosity how you feel. And I invite you to imagine if there's one place in your life where you want to feel or see this practice or this intention more. You might even consider when you might practice this again this week or over the weekend, or another person that you might do this practice with to be able to rest and be together. Just a final moment, any places that you want to integrate these tools or this intention, just give it one more breath, one more moment. And then when you're ready, we'll all take a final deep breath in together and a slow breath out to release the practice. And gently coming all the way back into the space as you're ready. And if you're in a really cozy space and the idea of even sitting up isn't going to happen, then just stay exactly where you are and let yourself rest. So I really want you to just take it from here where you need to take it. So after this recording downloads, I'll send it to everybody so that you have it to practice with you. And then I'll be sending out, so keep an eye out for a follow-up email that I'll be sending some point tomorrow with some other offerings and meditations and stuff that I'm recently about to come out with. And so I'll be sharing those as well if you want to continue on this journey. My invitation is always find one or two practices that you like. Maybe you like breathing, maybe you like the meditation, maybe you like bouncing, and just see where you can start to plug it in. Right, bookends of the day, before or after a meeting, before or after having to leave the house or coming back. Like, how can we support in these transitions and in our daily life to create some rhythms where bottom up, we're sending this message to the brain from the body that we're safe enough, right, to be able to be in this state of resting and of unwinding. And so letting the nervous system communicate with the body through the body can be a really helpful way to practice and integrate these. So I want to honor y'all's time, and so we'll complete it here. If you have any questions or anything, I'll stay on for a few minutes after if anyone has any questions.